Coach, I think you called it before the season when you were talking about the dimensional changes here at the Yard. We're going to see more exciting plays at PK Park, and well, we've seen that this week, and Tanner made the great play today.
It's nice that we made it in our uniform today instead of the other uniform making it for us. So, yeah, great play. Really good player. The Beavers kid has got a tremendous future in the game, and for Tanner to do that and rob a home run, that was a huge momentum piece in the seventh inning of today's game.
You guys jumped out early in the first inning, scoring 5, but specifically you were seemingly hunting like the first few pitches of the at-bat. Was that a design philosophy going into the game?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Coach Martyr, you'd have to ask, as the offensive guy, he got those guys ready to play, and Coach Martyr's offense, they got a lot of hits again today. They were on the aggressive. That was nice to see, and I think there were some off-speed pitch that we might have gotten to as well that were just left up in the zone, which I thought they had a really good hitting plan today, and it showed.
How do you think the intermittent rain kind of impacted the play? There was so it was raining one moment, then it was sunny the next. It happened a couple times throughout the game. How do you think it affected the pitching performances specifically today?
I don't know. The mound was in great shape. I don't think there was much of an effect on the game. If anything, when a ball hits wet turf, it can skip on guys, and it might get to an outfielder a little quicker. I thought there was a couple of balls that hit maybe in front of an outfielder that might have skipped by for an extra base type thing. There were a couple of balls hit on the infield that were hot shots that maybe come off the turf a little quicker because of the wetness. But in terms of the pitching piece, the mound was in great condition all day long. Our grounds crew really does a nice job, and we have the best mound in the league for sure. And it was in great shape the whole game.
Is that as good as you've seen Isaac this year? I know you said he didn't necessarily have his best stuff, but it seemed like he really settled in after those first 2 batters.
I don't know. I've seen Isaac really good a few different outings for sure, and he's just growing as a pitcher. I think Coach Angier, I think you can see it's required some patience for Coach Angier and a lot of teaching, but the pitching staff is slowly coming together, and you're starting to see guys that are going out there as a starter and doing a very nice job. I think that's at least 3 times in a row where a guy goes out there with the ball at the start of a game, at least 3 times in a row where they've really done everything that we've asked them to do, and the bullpen seems to have stabilized and they're pitching the ball well too.
Does the pitching game plan switch after that first home run in the first inning?
No, that dude's the best hitter in the league potentially, and he's been, whether he's the best hitter in the league or not, but he's one of the hottest hitters that there is in the league. I understand yesterday he was ill and wasn't at the ballpark because he was ill. And then today he's one of the hottest hitters that there is in college baseball across the board. Last week, as you guys know, they started the UCLA series with 3 consecutive home runs, first 3 hitters of the games. So that's the way they started their weekend last weekend. These guys can really hit. They've got a lot of thump in their order. And their leadoff hitter, as you saw, he's a really, really good hitter. And so for Caleb Sloan to get him out there at the end of the game, that was a huge out. That guy's a real threat no matter who's pitching.
Tanner mentioned before kind of the advantage he thinks the team has playing in conditions like this and kind of seeing how the other team gets uncomfortable in these types of conditions. Would you agree with that also, you think?
I don't know. It never rains at PK Park.
Yeah. You mentioned that you guys practice during the week though sometimes in rain, and you guys are just kind of used to those conditions. Would you kind of agree with that? Or?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. This is Oregon, and it never rains at PK Park.
Coach, you guys had 14 hits today with your 8 runs. Are you pleased with that performance after scoring 5 in the first, or do you think you should have bring in a couple more?
Pleased with that performance. Love the fact that we won again today. We won a series. We got a chance to sweep. So yes, very pleased with the ball club.
What did you see from King that you thought allowed him to really settle in after a 5-run first inning?
Well, he's really good now. He's the third starter third pitcher that they rolled out there this weekend. That's probably going to be the 2 guys yesterday are probably going to be first-round picks, and then the guy that they rolled out there today is probably going to be a 3rd or a 4th-round pick. And so, to be able to do what we've been able to do against those 3 arms, I'm very encouraged with. Those are 3 quality pitchers. King, I think, settled in just because he probably started locating a little bit better than he was early in the ball game. He's just really good, though. Usually good pitchers settle in, and he did.
We've talked about this before, but with lineup consistency with you guys, with Anthony Hall swinging such a hot bat, is there any chance there's a move in the lineup for him to get higher, like a cleanup or something like that, or do you find that him at 6 is the perfect spot?
Well, I don't know. I mean, throughout the year, there's been a guy who gets hot and then another guy that cools down, and that's pretty regular throughout the weeks. And so just as a coaching staff, we like to try to be even keel and not get too emotional when a guy's in a super hot streak, or get emotional on the other side when a guy's going cold. And I think it can send confusing messages to young people when guys go up or guys go down, and playing the hot streaks. For me, I don't know. I don't really love doing that, just because I just think it shows a fickle side instead of just the consistency of belief in your players. And we try to let our guys know that we believe in how good they are, regardless of how they're going. And we do. We think that they're really good 1 through 9, and there's guys on the bench that haven't even gotten an opportunity that they're really, really good too. That I think when you guys see them play, you're going to go, wow, this guy's been sitting on the bench. Wow, he's pretty good. And there's a lot of those guys in this program. It's fun. It's fun to go to practice every day with this team.
Is there anywhere you kind of picked that up throughout your coaching career, or has that always just been kind of your thoughts on lineup construction?
Well, I've been blessed to be around some really good coaches. Coach Lopez wasn't a guy that, was real fickle with a lot of the decisions he made. He was very steady, even keeled. So was Coach Horton usually with stuff like that. It wasn't a lot of playing the hot hand kind of stuff too much. And I don't know, I look at a lot of the coaches out there across the country, and it's hard to justify that when you're in the locker room with a player when a guy's going good and all of a sudden you stick him in there higher, and that could also work against him too, because now he's uncomfortable in that spot, and you take him from being hot to make him being cold because it's brand new to him. A lot of the reason why these kids get going really good is because there's confidence in them from the coaching staff, and they feel comfortable in where they hit in a lineup order. And so I don't know, we just like to be consistent with it. If changes need to be made, we wouldn't be scared to do it, but at the same point in time, there would need to be real reasons why changes need to be made. These guys have been really consistent throughout the year.
What did you see from Josiah Cromwell today? He had 2 hits, he played well behind the dish, just hadn't been hitting great at the plate, but it was nice to see him going back.
Boy, wasn't it? It was great to see. Really clutch hit to right field there, staying behind the ball for an RBI, I think, with 2 outs there early in the game. That was a really big hit. I thought he caught exceptionally well. He blocked exceptionally well. He's a really good player. And so I just encouraged when guys, again, kind of the consistency piece, I guess if we went off of what Josiah had done in the last week or 2, he probably wouldn't have played today. But still, just staying consistent and showing him that we trust in him probably gives him a little bit more confidence that the coaching staff believes in him. And he's just a really good player. We got a bunch of them.